Ba-da-bum, 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 bum, ba. Ba-da-bum, 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 bum, ba. Ba, 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 ba.
All right, Week 14 NFL kicking off Thursday with Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee still hanging around in the AFC playoff race. Got a late win against the Jets on last Sunday. I mean, they'll probably win this game, but the Jaguars. Now they're in that part of the season now where they know the season's over, but they'll probably be a pain, at least on defense. Offense is trying to move the ball on them. Cody Kessler gets to start again, so they'll put up 9 points this week. It wouldn't surprise me if the Jaguars got an upset, but Tennessee's still hanging around, although they're not in very good tiebreaker shape right now. But I think the Titans will win this game, but this is a bad Thursday game. But what are you gonna do? We've had some pretty good Thursday games this year so far, so you can't complain. Let's move to Sunday. Early games, you get the Jets at Buffalo. Again, here's a game that's matchup that's never meant anything in the history of the two teams. They're going at it again, just to play out the string. I think Sam Darnold's back. Great. The Bills cut Kelvin Benjamin. It's probably a good move on their part. The guy wasn't doing anything. But nobody cares who wins this game. So I'll take the Bills, although the Jets could win, but I'll take the Bills. Carolina at Cleveland. Carolina, I don't know what's going on with Carolina. I mean, they look like a playoff team not too long ago, and now they're stumbling around here. And Cleveland's playing better. They didn't look good against Houston last week. I'm going to take Cleveland an upset here. I think Carolina's going to fall out of the playoffs, to be quite honest with you. I think they're in a lot of trouble. In fact, let's look at Carolina's the rest of their schedule. They're 6-6. They're still hanging around over here. But they get the Saints twice and the Falcons. They'll beat the Falcons, but the Carolina might end up 7-9 here, and out of the playoffs. There's a very good chance that could happen. I'm gonna take Cleveland to win this game. I don't think Carolina's getting out of the playoffs. Speaking of teams not getting in the playoffs, you get in Atlanta, Green Bay. I mean, 2 years ago this was the NFC Championship game, and 2 years later, it's garbage versus garbage. Packers got rid of Mike McCarthy. I don't know what's going on with that team. I mean, maybe that was the problem. Maybe the players had tuned the coach out, and now maybe Green Bay will run the table to close it out because they still got enough talent on that team, at least on offense. But these are two teams now that really. I mean, they're not mathematically eliminated, but I mean they're out of it. I take Green Bay to win the game just because they're in Lambeau and there's probably a weight lifted off the team maybe because now that McCarthy's out, now they're playing for their jobs or what. Who cares? This team's not going to playoffs. Who cares? Two teams that are going to playoffs, well, at least one of them is, and one of them very well could be Baltimore, Kansas City. Big game. The Chiefs just keep scoring a ton of points. I mean, listen, they had to against the Raiders last week. The Raiders, gave them a ball game. Put up 30, 33 points, whatever it was. So, and that was great because I had Kelsey in two of my leagues. So, the longer you keep him live in games, scoring points, it's just beautiful. But I mean, this is going to be a tough game for Kansas City. I'll tell you what, if Kansas City puts up 40 in this game, I mean, I don't know how you stop this offense right now. I mean, Baltimore's got a good defense. They can run the ball. They can take down the clock. So this should be a tough game for the Chiefs. But if they just roll again and then put up 35, 40 points, I mean, I don't know who's going to stop them. You're just going to have to outscore them to beat them. I mean, Baltimore can't outscore them. I mean, they're going to have to. They're going to have to control the clock like a certain team did last Thursday, which we'll get to in a moment. But I'll take the Chiefs to win the game, but this should be a tough game. We'll see what happens. New England's at Miami. New England. Listen, they're going to be home again in the first round of playoffs. Just when you think it's not going to happen, guess what? Here we go. Pittsburgh falls off. They still got to deal with Houston. I mean, basically, they got to hope Houston and Kansas City somehow get the byes instead of New England. And one of those two teams is going to blow it. So New England's getting a bye. They'll beat Miami this week. They had a nice win against Minnesota last week. Miami gave them a game. Miami's still in the playoff hunt, but I don't see Miami getting in the playoffs either. New England win this game. All right, New Orleans at Tampa Bay this week. A rematch of that Week 1, the 48-41 ridiculous game right before the Saints ripped off a 10-game win streak. And again, this will be a high-scoring game. Tampa's offense looks like it's back on track. Winston's back in the starting spot. Settled down. Played well last couple of weeks, I guess. And listen, Tampa's not going to beat New Orleans twice. They might give him a game here. Hopefully, it's a nice shootout, especially for fantasy purposes. But New Orleans had 10 days to think about what happened to them in Dallas, and they'll come out strong and win this game. And just quickly on Saints Cowboys, again, everybody's surprised about what happened. Everyone expected New Orleans to go up and down the field, and that didn't happen. And I'll say this, and listen, this isn't new. This has been football for a very long time. When you can run the ball, you can play defense, and you make the strategic commitment to milk the clock, keep the other team off the field, you have a chance to win. And what you like about the Dallas win against New Orleans, a couple things. First of all, the Cowboys did not play a perfect game. They had a couple mistakes. Some big mistakes that that could have come back and cost them. They had some bad penalties on defense. Courtesy of Randy Gregory. They turned the ball over twice. But they were able to overcome that and still win the game. So again, you don't like the mistakes, but you like the fact that they were able to still win the game despite the mistakes against a team like New Orleans. It wasn't a thing where the Cowboys played an absolute perfect game and barely won. And then that can't happen again. No, they made some mistakes, and then there were some opportunities there for New Orleans to make them pay, and they were able to turn it back and win the game. So you like that. The second thing you like about the Cowboys win against New Orleans, they shut down Alvin Kamara. Now listen, I've watched basically every play that Alvin Kamara has run, because I've had him in fantasy 2 years, made me a ton of money. But the great thing about Kamara is the guy's always getting 3-4 extra yards at the end of every run. He always makes a turn or a move at the last moment, and next thing you know, he just picked up another 4 yards. That's why he's a great player. But he was getting nothing against the Cowboys. When he got hit, he went down right where he got hit. He was not getting any interest. And I gotta say, I don't know that I've ever seen. Again, he's only been in the league a year and a half, but I don't remember a game where Alvin Kamara got stopped like that. So again, you like that. Again, the Cowboys are gonna have to do this again in the playoffs. Whether it's against the Saints again or the Rams or both or whatever, they're gonna have to do it again. But they showed that they're capable of doing it. They showed that they're able to win a game and not be perfect. So I'm just saying, just look out, all right? And everybody stop running their mouth about you need to score 50 points every week. Okay, just enough. Anyway, New Orleans will beat Tampa Bay. You get the Giants at Washington. I mean, God, if somehow the Redskins. See, here's the thing now. See, if the Cowboys win a division, they're gonna be the 4 seed, or maybe they could get the 3 seed, I guess, because Chicago loses a couple games. But I mean, can somehow Washington get in the playoffs and go to Dallas in round 1? Because that, I mean, again, it would be a big game, and it'd be division rivals me in the playoffs. But I mean, can somehow Washington get in the playoffs and go to Dallas round 1, so that we can get that round 1 win? And you know what I'm saying? Because I'm more worried about, if Cowboys get in the playoffs, I'm more worried about that wild card weekend game, because that's where they could get tripped up. I don't want to see Seattle come in week 1. I don't want to deal with that week 1. I want to get a team that we can beat week 1, and then we focus on going to New Orleans or Los Angeles for the divisional round. And man, if the Redskins can somehow sneak in there, they'd be a great team to play week 1. Now, listen, they get the Giants at home. They're 6-6. They're still in the middle of it. Where are they playoff wise? What are their standings here? Are they still in the play? Would they be in the playoffs this season today? Let's see here. Yeah, they dropped to the 9th spot. But see, if Dallas beats Philly and they can beat the Giants, they'd move up to at least, the 7 or 8 spot. And if Carolina loses, it's going to be tough for the Redskins to get in the playoffs because the Vikings is 6-5-1 because they had that stupid tie. Maybe Seattle beats Minnesota. I don't know. Redskins are not getting in the playoffs because they have no quarterback. They have Mark Sanchez. They're not getting in the playoffs. I'm going to pick them to win this game, though, because it's the Giants. And, the Giants, it would be typical for the Giants to lose this kind of game. So I'm going to say the Redskins rally and give their fans some false hope. Last early Sunday game, you get Indianapolis at Houston. Hey, Texans won 9 in a row. I mean, this is crazy. And the Colts, 2 weeks ago they scored 38 points. And then they throw up a 0 against the Jaguars. I mean, good luck figuring that team out. And again, the Colts, another team sitting here at 6-6 in the AFC. But I don't know if they're getting in the playoffs. You can't be getting shut out late in the season. On the way to a playoff run. That's not something that typically happens. Houston will win this game. And again, Houston's been a perennial playoff team, but they can't seem to get past New England with some of the traditionally better teams in the AFC. I mean, is this the year Houston gets the AFC Championship game? Is this the year it finally happens for them, or do they go out again in wild card weekend, or maybe they get a win, the first weekend against a lesser team, and then they go to New England and get destroyed, or go to Kansas City and get lit up. I mean, who knows? But they'll win this game. It's going to be 10 in a row for Houston this week. All right, what do we got here? Late Sunday afternoon, you get Cincinnati at the Chargers. And the Bengals, no A.J. Green, no Andy Dalton. I mean, not that it mattered much when they were there. They were a mediocre team anyway. Chargers stumbled against the Broncos a few weeks ago. Got a nice win in Pittsburgh last week, even though they got a little help from the refs and Pittsburgh jumping off sides 8 times in a row in that last field goal. But you know what? I think the Chargers got it looked like it might be rough there after they lost to the Broncos, but they're turning around. They'll beat the Bengals this week for sure. And listen, they're still in there for the AFC West in a bye. So don't it sounds ridiculous because everyone's on the Chiefs, but that's still something that's still in play. So just keep your eyes open for the Chargers, especially if Baltimore upsets Kansas City. You get Denver at San Francisco. Just quick on this. So Denver's going to win the game, but I can't believe how low their defense is projected to score fantasy points this week. Like they're not even in the top 5 of projected. I'm like, are you kidding right now? I mean, the 49ers are on their 3rd backup quarterback. They're on their 6th backup running back. They've got no offense. I mean, how is Denver not the top-rated fantasy defense this week? Now I've got them both in the 2 leagues where I'm still in the playoffs, or where I'm going to win money. But so I'm not worried about giving this information out. But I can't believe, I don't know who does the projections for defense, but Denver's not even in the top 5 in both ESPN and CBS for some reason, and which is ridiculous because they might shut out the 49ers here. Plus they're going back. You get Von Miller and some of those vets going back to the field where they won Super Bowl 50. So that'll come into play anyway. But Denver's going to win the game, and if you got Denver defense, play them in fantasy. All right, now you get Philadelphia at Dallas, and listen, I kind of would have liked the Redskins to beat Philly just to get Philly out of it, but I mean this is the ball game right here. I mean, you beat the Eagles, you're going to win the NFC East. I mean, you don't clinch it mathematically, but if Dallas can get this win, it basically locks up the tiebreaker on Philly and Washington. They'd have 8 wins. The best Philly could do would be 9-7. The Redskins, they're not winning. They're not winning out. They're not going to be 10-6. So, Dallas, for all intents, then you get the Colts and the Buccaneers after this game. So, and the Giants to finish. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is it for the NFC East. Dallas wins this game, they're winning the NFC East. Now, if Philly wins, it's now it's a little bit muddled because then they'd be tied with Dallas 7-6. The Phillies still got to play Houston and the Rams. Well, the Cowboys get the Colts and the Buccaneers, so it's still going to be 50-50 at that point. But listen, Cowboys are going to win the game. We're always worried about Philly at this point. They won a Super Bowl last year. That should be enough for a while. Cowboys will win the game. And you get Pittsburgh at Oakland. Oakland. Listen, the offense is waking up a little bit. They put up 33 on the Chiefs last week. The Steelers. Here we go with the Steelers now. We're getting late in the season. They had a chance to take over the division. Get a bye, and now now they stumbled against the Chargers last week. And I can't imagine Oakland winning this game, but this game's going to be closer than people think here. I mean, Connor's out, but I mean they still have enough on offense to outscore Oakland, and they need to win. I mean, if Pittsburgh loses this game, they're in trouble as far as the playoffs go, because that would drop them to 7-5-1. You got the Ravens coming on. You got to look out for the Broncos. Broncos could get to 9-6, and then they're playing the Chargers that last week to get in the playoffs. In Denver. So the Steelers have them locked up right now. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So they need to win this game. They'll win the game, but it's going to be closer. Last game's slate Sunday. Detroit, Arizona. Who cares? I'll take Arizona's not winning 2 in a row. I'll take Detroit. But nobody cares about that game. All right, Sunday night you get the Rams at the Bears. Trubisky's supposed to play, I think. This might be tough. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like here. That could be a factor. Obviously if it's like really cold, or I don't know if there's any snow in the forecast. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like Sunday night in Chicago. But that's not going to be an ideal condition for offense like the Rams, and especially going against a defense like the Bears. So, but here's the test now. Again, like we saw with the Cowboys in New Orleans. Can Cowboys defense slow down the Saints? They did, but guess what? They'll have to do it again if they want to get to the Super Bowl. Same thing with the Bears. Can their defense slow down the Rams? I mean, we're going to find out Sunday night. I don't know if I want to pick the Bears here, just because again, Trubisky will probably play, but. This might be a little too big for the Bears just yet. I think the Rams win the game, but it's not going to be a high-scoring affair. I don't think. This is the same test the Cowboys had against New Orleans. I think the Bears will come up a little short in this one, but again, sometimes it's better to lose this game in the regular season, and then you go play the team in the playoffs, and then you beat them. But I'll take the Rams in this game, but that'd be a good ball game. And then you get Minnesota and Seattle. Man, this is a big game for the playoffs. I mean, these are two teams that are being in the playoffs right now. Again, Dallas is not getting a bye. If they win a division, they're probably playing one of these two teams. I do not want to see Seattle in round 1. I would much rather see Minnesota. But the question is, can Minnesota win this game? Because if Seattle wins this game, I mean, Seattle's basically going to be the 5 seed. So that means they're going to play the 4 seed, which at this point would be the Cowboys. But then it's like, can the Cowboys move to 3 and get the 6 seed? Like, that's what's on the table right now. And Russell Wilson's ridiculous. I mean, he just, I'm so glad I have him in my 2 fantasy leagues that I'm still in contention in, because it's just he's just been a great second half fantasy quarterback. And this will be nice because I'm we got the fantasy playoffs in one of my leagues this week, and saving them for Monday night. So my opponent will probably be ahead for most of the game, but then Russell Wilson will come in and drop 35, and I'll move into the next round. But Seattle will win the game. But man, I'd love to get Minnesota or Washington in a wild card round. That would be a nice, solid get the playoff win, and then let's go to Los Angeles and New Orleans and see what happens. I don't want to see Seattle. Nobody wants to see Seattle. I'm not saying Seattle's going to a Super Bowl, but nobody wants to see Seattle right now because of Russell Wilson. So, but they'll win this game, and there you go. All right, so we'll see you, Sunday late afternoon, screaming at the Eagle game. I don't know if we'll have the tree up this. I don't know if we're getting the tree this Saturday or next week, but maybe it'll be a Christmassy look, Christmassy feel. It's getting that time of year. Where it's Christmas time. We're getting some really good football. We're gonna get a couple Saturday games coming up soon. It's a good time of the year. So just go out there and enjoy it. And all right, we'll talk to you soon. Week 14.